Listen to me on Inshira on the Love FM. I think that everything we said largely about the election was what happened yesterday. I said that Aduomi is a formidable candidate. David, when he came on the scene in June 2008, he unseated a cabinet minister and a foreign affairs minister. If someone is appointed by President Akufo to replace Akufo-Addo in 2007, clearly it means that that person has a certain fortitude, a certain depth to be made a foreign affairs minister. So for him to remove him in that election, it just shows that Aduomi is formidable. Again, when he went on the committee of rules, because he had been the regional director of the Ghana Highways Authority, most of the road contracts, most of the paperwork in Pal, he was doing it and was able to lobby for roads in Aduomi. There's nobody in Aduomi who will ask and say that the Aduomi Anye BBI. He's not one of those MPs you can say that. He did a lot of roads. In fact, I have relations who live in the constituency and they testify of the roads there. And he had been an opposition member of parliament for 8 years. He became into power for 4 years, was a deputy roads minister. They felt the portfolio he held and how he brought development, particularly roads in the constituency. Are they enough? No, they were not enough. He lost. But even when you look at even his losing to John late John Kuma, the difference was 90 votes, 397 as against I think 307 or so. The difference was 90. It clearly tells that it wasn't that a beating of a sort. But for me, I was not surprised because, as I said, all these things show that he's formidable. And the MPP wanted to make the margin a bit bigger to send a certain signal ahead of the election. And in fact, when you listen to the national organizer of the MPP, and I particularly was happy I listened to, I actually took a 1 minute listen again of him, and I felt that he spoke more maturely. He, unlike the president, didn't throw shades. He was humbled by the result. When you listen to him,
you say national organizer?
Yeah, the national chairman, Honorable Stephen Ntim. And when he spoke to Nanaya Ojima, the words are in my head. He said that he was not comfortable with the results and they have to close ranks and he himself will lead the child to speak to Honorable.
You're leaving one out where he says they want to avoid surprises.
Exactly.
Let's take a listen to what Stephen Ntim himself, the national chairman of the MPP, had to say.
Also Aduomi are splitting and leaving the camp. And personally, as chairman of the party, I'm not comfortable. We should be able to bring them all back to the fold. The party's also Aduomi are splitting and leaving the camp. And personally, as chairman of the party, I'm not comfortable. We should be able to bring them all back to the fold, the party's fold, so that come December 7th, there will be no surprises. We should be able to carry the Aduomi seat with ease as against what we are going through this evening. So that's my next focus, to make sure that the party is reconciled amongst itself. That's what we are looking at.
So is it that you are going to the camp of Aduomi, try to convince him and his supporters to return to the NPP?
That is the only way out. You don't expect Aduomi to make overtures to us. You don't expect him to do that. So as chairman of the party, I'm going to take that mantle upon myself.
Looking at the winner of yesterday's by-election, Kwabena, Boate himself, also says that Charlie, one of the things he's going to do to ensure that he brings everybody back on board, all those people who for one reason or the other have left the party, he's going to ensure that he brings them all back on board. As to whether they will come back is another thing.
Dave, you see, when you listen to the national chairman and you listen to the president, that has always been my issue, President Akufo-Addo, particularly after winning the 2020 elections. Some of his commentaries seems to me that for me, honestly, when you watch some of the sayings of the president, Fomena, Otek FM, the flood issue, when he went to the voter region, Elmina issue, Emena, Charlie, there's a lot of things that the president, and yesterday have you seen the chieftaincy statement that they are bringing now? The president wants chiefs to stand up. You see, his posturing and some of his commentaries are eroding the goodwill, the little goodwill left of the MPP. When you listen to this national chairman, wow. 3 key takeaways for me. He's afraid of overtures, meaning that he knows the threat Aduomi poses. He is formidable. The result shows that when you go to Aduomi today, when you pick 10 voters in Aduomi, 4 believe in the leadership of Akufo-Addo'S. Almost 6, because it's 55, believes in the leadership of who? Kwabena Boateng. You are going into an election where you want to break the 8. You want to maximize gains or consolidate your base, consolidate your gains, because they just vote 80% MPP. Per the profile of the constituency, the historical data. When you go to Ejusu today, when you pick 10 votes, 8 votes. So when you're going into election, yes, NDC has never had a formidable candidate like the MPP had in Aduomi this time round. But it tells you that the party and Kwabena Boateng in the next 7 months must do 2 things. Unite the party and eat into the fold of Aduomi. Because you cannot take this percentage to the general election where you want to break it. And again, David, the national chairman, when you continue listening to that audio, this is just a short version.
Yeah.
He acknowledged that there has been some issues of the voter album in Ejusu. And it's not just Ejusu. Kofi Ofosun Cancer and Honorable Ayimedu at Asante Achem Central. There are issues. When you go to Fomena today, they don't know the candidates. There are issues. Many places within the Ashanti region, the regional chairman and other people are being fingered of engineering albums. And when you go to Konongo, it's been alleged that Honorable Ayimedu created the album in his bedroom. All these things have come, but the national chairman was considered that it has not come to his attention. I think that going forward, yes, Kwabena Boateng has won. It was clear. You didn't need a Jewish prophet to tell you he'll win. But they should pick the albums. They should call interested parties and iron out their differences. Now, David,
before you go any further, before you go.